It's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Me a boy's name that starts with the letter H. Jose.
Now look at me now. How far we go back? Elementary, jump rope, hide and go seek, pity pad, red light, green light, red light, green light.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. About practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. We talking about practice, man. But we talking about practice right now. We talking about practice.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
That's right. You heard that correctly. You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Wednesday night, just past 9 p.m. We are coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. We finally got Rob G back in the studio tonight. Feels good to have my brother across from me again. What's up, man? Everything good tonight?
Yes, sir. I'm excited to be back, finally.
Feeling good? Done with the quarantine?
In the zone. Yeah.
And let's get it clear, he wasn't sick. He just had to stay home because of work purposes on quarantine.
Paid in the shade, as I call it.
Paid leave for free. Quan behind the big board doing what he does, as always, here on Gorilla Cross Radio. If you guys have not downloaded the app, make sure you do so. We are streaming live on GorillaCross.com, the Gorilla Cross app, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, any social media platform. We're there. And after the show, you can also find us on all of the platforms that you like to listen to, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, GorillaCross.com, same thing, the app, everything. You can find us on Anchor. You can find the show on YouTube as well, Jose V, Straight Bet Sports. So, Rob, we got a good show tonight. It's only you and me, no guest tonight. We're going to talk about a couple topics here. Some NHL getting hot. I was talking about some bets with you that I've been doing. I like the in-game wagering that I've been doing. We got some Hall of Fame talk. Hall of Fame put up a donut yesterday.
Yep.
A lot of talk going on with that. Discussion, disagreements. Got some stuff that I'm going to say. Obviously, they're my thoughts. That doesn't mean that you have to agree with me. It's just how I feel on this current situation. We'll get Rob's thoughts. And anyone else that wants to chime in, 702-608-3259 is the phone number here on Gorilla Cross Radio. If you want to tune in, chime in, and let us know your thoughts on anything that we're talking about. But before we do so, Quan, please let everybody know who we are being brought to you by. We are brought to you by Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, a realtor here to help educate current and future Las Vegas locals on selling and investing in real estate. You're probably asking yourself, educate. Yes, there's a surprising amount of adults that when it comes to real estate, don't know the right questions to ask, don't know where to start, and think they need a lot of cash to buy a house in Nevada, which simply isn't true. So Josh has decided to make it his responsibility to teach his clients what they need to know, and equally important, what they need to ask to help ensure making their home ownership dreams a true reality. So make sure you call or text Joshua LaFon today at 702-813-0533. This has been another paid advertisement from Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. Make sure you give him a call, 702-813-0533. That's right. Big shout out to Joshua LaFon, our sponsor here on Straight Bet Sports on Gorilla Cross Radio. Greatly appreciate you sticking with us and enjoying what we do. We got to get you on the show, man. We keep talking about it, but we still haven't done it. We're going to get you on soon. So, Rob, since we're both from L.A., we're both from California, we're both Laker fans. Quan's a Laker fan as well. Yesterday was the one-year anniversary of the passing of Kobe Bryant, Gianna, and obviously everyone else on that aircraft that day. Just wanted to get your thoughts on how you've seen basketball since that happened. Your most fondest memory of Kobe, whether it was a game you went to or something you watched or just maybe the way he was or his mentality or anything that you remember of him that you want to talk about. Quan, same thing. You can chime in on this as well. And if anyone's out there listening and watching, 702-608-3259 is the number if you guys want to call in and give us your thoughts on Kobe Bryant, the Lakers, whatever it may be that has to do with Kobe. So, Rob, I'll let you go first.
Yeah. I mean, Kobe, to me, I mean, he is basketball, right? I mean, I don't remember what grade it was when he came to the league, but I mean, I remember being in elementary school and his shoes coming out, right? And people rocking
Space
them.
looking shoes.
Yeah, they were a little rough at first, right? But people bought them. They had them on, and like I said, he is basketball to me. I ever since he kind of retired, even before he passed, I kind of stopped watching basketball because I always looked forward to watching the Lakers or watching basketball with Kobe playing. Ever since he retired, I kind of faded away from basketball. So that's kind of where I stand with basketball so far. But memory wise for Kobe, I think I don't know. Well, I went to a few games when he played, right? I went to I was part of the Laker fan club growing up, right? And me and my brother, they used to give you 2 tickets to go watch the Lakers practice, right? And I'll be honest with you, 100% up front, I was a huge Shaq fan. Okay. I was a Magic, huge Shaq. And then when he went to the Lakers, it was like a dream come true, right? And then so I got to go watch him. I was so excited to see Shaq. He had got injured prior to that practice, and then he was his first practice being back, right? And Kobe was there, and he literally stole the show. He was doing crazy stuff. The crowd was there, and I mean, for me, that was like my first impression of Kobe. And then ever since then, I mean, I went to a Christmas Day game when they played Boston one time, which was super crazy, out of this world. Spilled my beer, just the whole deal, right?
Good time.
But yeah, for me, Kobe, I don't know if I can nail it down to this one moment for Kobe, because to me, he's a huge part of my life, right? Huge part of my life. And I think just every championship that he won is a memory to me, just all the way up until his last game that we watched together, actually, when he played Utah, right? It's crazy to still think, like, if somebody, to this day, like if when I hear that Kobe has passed, like, it's still surreal to me. Like, I don't want to believe it. So I don't know if I can nail it down to one memory, but Kobe is just so big in my family, in LA, and it's sad, man, once you think about it. And I even texted the wife yesterday, like, tomorrow's the day, like, tomorrow's the day. Like, can you believe it? It's been 1 year since Kobe passed. So yeah, I mean, Kobe is a huge part of my life. Every basketball jersey that I own in my closet is a Kobe jersey. I have a Shaq jersey, of course. I have an old school Magic Shaq jersey, but I own 3 Kobe jerseys. Those are the only ones that still fit me, right? Yeah. That still fit me. So all of my jerseys are Kobe's, and it's just still surreal to me to think that he's gone. And I don't know. I feel like I know they did like a little 1 hour thing on like ABC or NBC.
They did one on Sports Center. They did a Sports Center Presents or something like that. It was a 2-hour special.
I don't know. I felt like I should have been everywhere, and I don't feel like it was a huge celebration
as big as it was when he died, basically.
Right, like when he died, it was just crazy. But yesterday, I just felt like I didn't see it enough, right? Like, I felt like we didn't celebrate it, and not say his passing we celebrated, but his life, And
you would have expected more from the NBA community.
Everything, just because when he passed, it was just like you literally, when you were scrolling through social media or Twitter, it was just like 25 posts in a row about Kobe. Yeah. And I felt like it was just kind of scattered.
It was
showers,
almost for like a week, if you think about it. That whole first week after his passing was like Kobe.
Felt like we didn't celebrate
story.
It.
Yeah.
I felt like we didn't celebrate it as big as it needed to be. I mean, I know he passed, but it's still a celebration of his life. So that's, for me, that's Kobe.
To me, he's basically my generation's, Michael Jordan. Like, I got to see Jordan towards the end of his career, so I didn't get to see him play his whole career. But I got to see Kobe. I got to see LeBron. And same thing, man. I grew up going to the Great Western Forum before they got to Staples Center. Going to those games when he was still there with Del Harris, when he first started.
Del Harris was the coach at that practice. That's the one I went to.
I think they still had Nick Van Axel his first year.
Nick was
and that
there
was when
too.
they basically was like, hey, I'm out. You're the guy type of thing. You know what I mean?
Eddie Jones, remember? That's what they traded.
But Eddie
for.
Jones was the guy that could never score in the playoffs. But that's another conversation. But with Kobe, I have 2 memories. Obviously, the 81-point game, and the reason being I was celebrating my birthday. It was 2 days after my birthday. And I was out at Fridays, and I was having a great time drinking this new drink I've never heard of at that time. Now I know what it is, LA Water. But I remember that game and just thinking, is he going to go for more than 81? Because I remember the game, I think the game prior to that was the Dallas game. Not that night, but the higher scoring game that he had before that one was the one where he had 61 or something through 3 quarters. 60 what?
Yeah, 62. Dallas had 61 after 3.
Oh, I remember that
one?
game.
Yeah. And I think he sat the fourth quarter, right,
Yeah,
Quan?
he didn't play in the fourth.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it brought back memories of that. Like, okay, he's at 81. Like, this is insane. Like, he just could not miss. But the biggest fondest memory that I have, and it's because this is what Kobe Bryant does, right? Even, you know, when he's here, when he's gone, whatever, he brings people together. You said it. I'll never forget his final game. The wife was pregnant. Jordan was in the belly. You were there. I was there. John McApeely was there.
Yep.
So it brought people from all walks of life together. John's Filipino. You know, we're Hispanic. You know, we're all just hanging out, watching basketball. It was fun times, bro. We all had our Laker jerseys on. We were drinking, enjoying it. And it just felt like it wasn't his last game. It just felt like this is just another Kobe Bryant. This is just another one of his presentations that he's given us. Another one of his shows that he has just waiting for us, you know, to be released. And it's like, we don't see that anymore. Like, to me, like you said it, I remember that. You didn't really watch the Lakers that much towards the end of Kobe's career when he started getting hurt. I used to hit you up, Laker game tonight? Who they playing? And before it was like, bro, you see who they playing tonight? This and that. And you went away from that. And that's kind of how I am. Like, I still watch the Lakers, but I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched a full game this season. I've watched highlights. You know, I've recorded what I can, and I watch everything that I can, but it just doesn't feel the same to me. I get it. I know who we have on the team right now. You got AD, you got LeBron, but not even seeing Kobe on the sidelines there to celebrate his team or that organization that he gave so much to, you know, it's different. But I don't know, man. It's yes, Eddie Jones, 62 3/4. People hitting up on Facebook here, but yeah, man,
it's still hard to believe. It's still
hard to believe that
Kobe,
he's gone.
in my mind,
Definitely.
I mean, I've had this argument probably over a dozen times or more in my life about. To me, Kobe is the greatest of all time. I mean, I hate to say it. I know Jordan was a little bit before, just slightly before my time, but I mean, I just never seen anyone hit so many jumpers in someone's face with their hand. You know, like Jordan hit some nice fadeaways. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about clutch game winner. You know, somebody in your face. You know, just back to back threes to tie a game.
You know what game I remember too? I forgot what year it was, but they had Lamar Odom on that team. He made a no, it wasn't a three. It was a 2-pointer. They were wearing the white jerseys. He was still number 8 when they beat Phoenix to go up 3-1. They ended up losing that series. When he grabbed his jersey and started doing, like, those are the type of things that he was an assassin. He was a killer. That's why that Black Mamba mentality, you know what I mean? It was just every time he had the ball, whether it was in a game-winning situation, you wanted the ball in his hand. I'm sorry, there's other players that are great that they're not that clutch in the final moments and not as clutch as Kobe was.
Kobe's just had some, I mean, if you look up highlights, I mean, just, I remember one year, it was the last game of the season. Probably you guys remember this when they played Portland, and it was in Portland, which is a tough place to play. And he hit a looping rainbow shot 3 to take it to overtime. And then he hit like a J fading away to win the game. It was to take, I believe, the number 1 seed too in the Western Conference. So, I mean, there's just so many memories of Kobe that, you know, it sucks. You know, it's just, we were able to enjoy, you know, what he was able to bring to this world while he was here. And
let's not forget Gigi.
Yeah,
she was a star in the making. He said he would put it into words about how much she was going to take over the WNBA.
Naturally,
how she was going to go to UConn, how she was going to be a baller. I mean, like, he knew. They were stuck together, bro, side by side. And like they say, God had to take both of them. You know what I mean? He had to keep them together. You know, it sucks. It went that way, but Kobe's career was over. Hers was just getting started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's, and we have kids. That's why it's harder when you see that, especially someone that you idolize so much, you know. And then the best thing about Kobe, he wasn't perfect. None of us are. You know what I mean? We all make mistakes, but he's gone, and it's still eerie, and it's still weird, and it doesn't feel normal, man. But I think he's also the greatest of all time. That's just my opinion.
I know we're gonna get hit up so bad too about it too. I know it. I get it, Mike. I get you. For me, it was just the way that he finishes games and the amount of shots that he's made in people's faces with their hand in the face, just jaying it up, playing. I mean, one of my arguments too was always when I used to have these. Is that he played with a cast on his finger, on his shooting hand
for how many years,
and just hit
nonstop
winners, just game winners. I remember he had a huge shot against the Celtics one year with a cast on his finger, on his
whole finger.
Yeah.
He had the whole thing, white little pointy.
Yep, everything. And I've never seen Jordan play with a cast. I mean, I don't even know if he would have played. I'm pretty sure he would have. Don't get me wrong. But I just playing with the cast and just jaying in people's faces is just it was amazing. It was a good time. It was a good time to watch basketball.
Talking about Kobe Bryant, Gigi Bryant here on Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Jose V, Rob G, Quan59 here in the studio hanging out with you guys. We're going to go ahead and move on, though. But Kobe, Gigi, everybody that was in that crash, rest in peace. Trust me, you're definitely not forgotten, and you never will be. But the Hall of Fame balloting.
Baseball.
Yep. Was a few days ago, yesterday. Good conversations on Facebook with a couple people. And we give opinions, right? It's our opinions. That doesn't mean that we believe that everyone needs to agree with me or Rob or whoever it may be, or if Quan gives his opinion. That's just what we believe in, right? I mean, that's how I see certain things. And everybody else has their opinions, and they're going to say what they want, and they're going to agree or disagree with me. Now, there's some people on this ballot that did not get in, that are in their 9th year. And in baseball, you got 10 to get voted in by the Writers Association. And at this current time, the top 3 guys that many were hoping to get in, Curt Schilling, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, were denied yet again. Obviously, we know why Bonds and Roger Clemens are being denied. You know, there's no beating around the bush with that. Whether you believe or don't believe that Barry Bonds took steroids, that's the issue there. Whether you want to say he failed or never failed the test, I get that because he never also admitted it. But Lance Armstrong never failed the test, and he won 7 Tour de France's in a row, but he admitted it. I get that. But that just goes to show you that guys can still cheat the system and not get caught. Now, the fact to me that Barry Bonds was surrounded with so much steroid talk and so many people that were attached to steroids, whether it was doctors or medical people or trainers. I'm sorry. And how big he got after he got older, just to me, I think he was attached to steroids. I think he took them. But again, like I said, that's my opinion. That's how I feel. I don't hate the guy. At the end of the day, he put up the numbers whether he was on steroids or not. But I believe that he took steroids, and I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens, another guy, ex-Yankee. I'm a Yankee fan. You guys know that, even though I'm wearing an Arizona hat. I like hats. Don't judge me. He doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame either. This is a guy that went in front of Congress and denied it over and over again. I didn't take steroids. I didn't do it. But yet it came out that you did, and you still try to deny it. He doesn't belong in there. Even though he's got over 300 and something career wins, I get that. You're not going to get in. I don't think so. Do the vets vote you in after the 10th year? Possibly. Who knows?
No way.
Now, Curt Schilling, 71.1% of the vote. You got to get 75 to get in. This is a guy that numbers-wise only has about 247 give or take wins. Doesn't have 300. I believe every pitcher in Hall of Fame has 300 or more. That was a starting pitcher. Now, granted, he was 11-2 in the playoffs. 2 World Series titles. The bloody sock. The curse against the Yankees. We know all that. But he's also said some things that he shouldn't say. Or that he shouldn't have put on social media for people to see. I get it. Everybody has their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions on how they feel about certain things. But certain things shouldn't be put out there, and he put some things that shouldn't, so he's being hosed for that. I think the writers don't like him because he's an a-hole, as some people call him, but numbers-wise, what he's done towards the end of this ballot, 9th or 10th, I can see him getting in. Now, he did come out and say, I don't want to be on the ballot. I'm requesting that you guys take me off the 10th year of the ballot so I can wait for the vets, the real people that know about baseball, to basically vote me in. Not his exact words, so don't quote me on that, but you can look up the article and read it. I think out of those 3 guys, he's getting hosed. Yep. Now, before we get into that, though, let's talk about some notable names that, not sure what year of the ballot they're in, but we were talking about that. Omar Vizquel being one of them. Scott Rowland. Todd Helton spent his whole career with the Colorado Rockies.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Gary Sheffield. Quan likes Gary Sheffield. We were just talking about that a minute ago.
He likes his batting stance.
His batting stance, right?
We all remember his batting stance, remember?
And then Andrew Jones and Jeff Kent. Andrew Jones, I don't know. Jeff Kent, great player, not a Hall of Famer in my opinion. A lot of great years, but not a Hall of Famer. Out of those names that we mentioned, which ones pop out more before we get into the top 3?
Before I start on that, this is if Phillip Rivers were a baseball player, this would be perfect. Then we talked about it, right? Like you get put on that ballot where it's just maybe a bunch of like, almost, maybes. This would be perfect for Phillip Rivers, but too bad he didn't play baseball. For me, Curt Schilling should be in, right? I understand he doesn't have the wins where they need to be at. I'm surprised he didn't get in for who's on this ballot. This is honestly, in my opinion, a really weak ballot. I like Curt Schilling, excuse me. Barry Bonds is Barry Bonds, right? We can go all day. We can have a whole show on Barry Bonds. Roger Clemens. I think Omar Vizquel is a Hall of Famer in my opinion.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
So Goose just made a good comment that makes sense. He says that bloody sock, the sock is in the hall, but yet he isn't. And
Right.
that's true. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, I think Omar Vizquel is a Hall of Famer.
Why? Because he played 20-something years?
I just think at
You're
that
giving him the
position for
longevity
what he
ticket?
did and what he did for the team, and that Indians team was really good. Like I know they didn't. I don't think they won it all. I can't remember who the coach was, but it was Hargrove. I think it was Mike Hargrove.
Oh, it was Hargrove, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a really good Indians team. And now they're not going to be the Indians, right?
Was that the Dave Justice Indian?
I don't think so.
He was gone already.
I think that was Albert Bell.
Albert Bell.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is that Albert
Wow.
I'm going back right
You're
here.
going
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
He had that stance too.
Yeah. That little. Yeah. Billy Wagner, I had to look up, 7-time All-Star. But I mean, most of us would probably have to look him up. Todd Helton, don't think so. Gary Sheffield, don't think so.
I think Scott Rowland's a Hall of Famer, but if this is his early part of his ballot, I think he'll get in towards the end of the year.
It's his fourth. But they're just going down the line real quick. So you got Manny on this one, right? Who obviously is not going to make. You got Sosa, Pettit.
Wait, they were on this. They were on the bottom part of this ballot then. I didn't even see
Yeah.
that. They're not
Manny
even getting
Ramirez,
voted.
Sosa, Pettit. So you got 3 people right there that are pretty much not going to
Bro,
make
Manny
it already.
Ramirez, man, one of the greatest hitters in Major League Baseball of all time. But yet the whole steroid thing, bro. Like again,
Mark Burley, Torrey Hunter, Bobby Abreu, Aramis Ramirez, Barry Zito.
Aramis Ramirez,
Yes.
Chicago Cubs.
It's his first. So the
Wow,
first,
okay.
first ballot is Aramis Ramirez, LaTroy Hawkins, I believe a pitcher, Barry Zito. I remember Barry, Burnett, AJ Burnett, Michael Kadire, Dan Heron, Nick Swisher, and the Flying Hawaiian. Shane Victorino.
You know, Dan Heron was going back and forth on Twitter with some people
About how he should be a Hall
No,
of
he
Famer.
was making fun of Kurt.
Oh. Well, Kurt said some things that obviously have hurt him. If he doesn't want to, I think he will be voted in by the veterans because know if that's the process. I think he will get in. It'll be interesting, but this is a pretty. I mean, in my opinion, this is a pretty weak.
But it's crazy how you give that list, and we look at the list, and we talk about some of these players, whether it's the top 3 or in between the top 15. But then we think about people like Pete Rose, right? People are chiming in on Facebook. Goose just said it. Pete belongs in the Hall. I think Pete Rose belongs in the Hall as a player because as a player, his numbers are like no other. No one has more hits than he does. Granted, there's nothing out there to show that he bet or gambled during his playing time. Rob thinks he possibly did because he's like, he probably warmed up. He probably warmed up to get ready for when he was going to be a coach or whatever it was. But as a player, you have to put Pete Rose in. I get it. He denied it for years and years and years about him betting on games when he was a manager. But dude, as a player, I'm sorry. No one hit the ball nor played as hard as he did during that time. I didn't get to watch him, obviously. But from everything that I've seen, that I've read, the highlights, this dude belongs in the Hall of Fame as a player. For you to be the all-time hits leader and you are not in there or even recognized in there, I believe, that's harsh.
First of all, like you said, I guarantee there's no way he just started betting or like professionally or on the books or on paper when he became a manager. He was probably betting, maybe not on his own sport, but he was gambling his entire life. Yeah, he was gambling his entire life. But as a player, I do agree that he should be in the Hall of Fame. As a manager, obviously not. But yeah, it's I don't think he's ever gonna get in. I don't think he's. Sad to say too. I was around him for most of my for some of my high school careers because his son went to the same school as I did. But I don't think he's ever gonna get in. I hate to say it too. Of all the people, since I am a gambler, right, and since we are gamblers, we kind of have a soft spot for him and being like he should be in.
He should be in there.
But it was in.
I used to give him his picks.
It's in the it's in the rules. I mean, not in the rules, but it's in the it's in the rules, I guess you want to say.
Can't do it.
Can't do it, right? And him saying that he never bet against his team too is hard. It's tough to believe. You know what I mean? Coming from a gambler, right? Someone's like, oh, I always bet on the Reds to win. Like, maybe
I agree with Goose. He said that he thinks it's gonna take a minute for Shane to get in. I agree with that.
I don't know if I believe that though. Do you think if you were the manager of a team that you would only bet for your team to win? Only.
So wait, is that what he was doing? He was betting on his team to win. Yeah, supposedly.
I'm assuming he gambled on. I don't know the full details, but
I'm assuming Pete, you're gonna tell me that you only bet on your team to win it all.
Right. Well, to win, right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
Coming from people who bet on sports or who look at the lines and stuff, it's tough to believe that someone only bet on their team to win. Right? You're gonna tell me not once you bet on your team to lose, you threw out a weak lineup, or you saw a matchup that you didn't, that you kind of knew your team was gonna lose, or had a feeling your team was gonna lose, and you're gonna tell me you didn't put that on the books? Come on now. Come on now.
Rob giving you his expertise.
And I love Pete. I love Pete. I love Pete, man. I love him.
I've ran into him twice here in Vegas. Never actually bothered him or tried to say hi to him, but I ran into him twice.
He used to be at all my high school basketball practices, so I've seen him over 1,000 times in my career. He sits there. He provided our uniforms. I've said this before on the show. So he's a really cool guy, and I feel bad for him. But yeah, I've had so many interactions with him and seen him, and so. It's crazy to think, but I personally do, as a player, think that he should be in the Hall of Fame.
All right, so give me your thoughts on the other three that we talked about, the ones that I already basically gave my opinions
on. Who?
Barry?
No.
Why?
Only because my family are all Giants fans.
Okay.
No. He's kind of like that Lance where you gave the Lance example. If I was gonna make an argument for anyone other than Pete Rose, I think that it would be for Barry Bonds, right? Never tested never had a bad test, whatever we want to say. So if anything, I would say Barry Bonds, but Roger Clemens definitely not. Manny Ramirez, no. Sammy, no. Andy Pettit, no. Even though he's the one that kind of admitted and stuff like that, what's going on.
So that's what I was telling you on the way here, like. Out of all of the guys that are attached to the steroid era or just steroids in general, if we're being dead serious about it, look it up. The only guy that I can remember, I could be wrong, the only guy that I remember coming out once it came out and not hiding and first bet was right there in front of the cameras and admitted it and then continued clean for whatever we know and had a good career after that is Andy Pettit. Andy Pettit, to me, could possibly be the only guy that's attached to the steroid era that we know took it, that'll possibly get in by the writers, I think. That's just me. There's possibly a bunch of other guys that are, who knows, maybe they do vote Barry Bonds next year and I'm wrong. I don't know that. You know what I mean? I don't have a vote. So my vote right now, my voice doesn't matter. It's just my opinion. But
yeah, it's not surprising looking at this ballot that no one was selected. I think Curt Schilling will get in. I think hopefully, in my opinion, he looked
first time since 1960, right?
Omar Vizquel's the only, I don't know the date, but Omar Vizquel's the only person that actually dropped change year over year. Everyone went up, including Barry Bonds. Omar Vizquel went down 3.5% in total votes.
Safe to say he's gonna have a tough time to get in.
It's only his fourth ballot though, so he's got 6 more years.
Goose says, Barry Lamar Bonds, best player I've ever seen play the game, will never sniff Cooperstown, and it sucks.
Yep. He is, like, to some people, like we talked about Kobe.
Don't get me wrong.
He is baseball to some people. And,
I like seeing Barry Bonds.
Quan made a good point before the show that, baseball was a dying sport. And, steroids kind of saved it. And now they're, penalizing those players for as much. During that era, I mean, they made so much money, on the Barry Bonds and the Sammy Sosa and the Mark McGwire chase. I don't know if you had a chance to see the 40. What is it?
I remember when he hit 62.
I remember the whole deal.
It was in St. Louis. He barely hit it over the wall. It was like a golf swing
It was
that
like
he got.
that day. That home run was like.
I remember where I was watching it. I don't know. I remember how old I was. I was in my garage. I had a little black and white TV, and I was watching it in my garage with my 2 cousins. I'll never forget
that event. That day was like a family event for me as well. And we just, the game was on Fox, right? I think it was like a weekend. Don't get me wrong, because I remember we were all there.
If you want to talk about home run chases, I'll give you a story real quick. I remember 2 home run chases. Obviously, that one, the one with Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. But then I remember a few years before that, you had Tino Martinez going at it with Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
Granted, Tino died out at around 45 and Griffey kept going. But those were the clean guys that we now know were giving it to you straight, legit, all the way through. And then now we know what Sosa and McGwire were all about. And it's like...
You want to talk about the ratings, though, right? Like the ratings
through the roof.
And just watching every day and back to back and just everything.
Remember, we didn't have social media and all that back in the day.
Right.
I used to go to the corner store to get the newspaper.
And the coverage, though, the coverage was just mind blowing. And it sucks. It sucks for them. It definitely does.
But hey, you make your bed, you lay in it, right?
Exactly. I'm not surprised, though. None of us are surprised. You know what I mean? Like, however many ballots these guys have. Exactly, 100%. I mean, Barry Bonds is on his 9th. Rogers on his 9th. Kurt's on his 9th. I mean, well, Kurt's a different story, but I mean, these players are, even Sammy Sosa's on his 9th. This is his 9th ballot. So
Sammy won't get in now.
No,
I think he's out.
Yeah, he's done. And deservingly so.
And it's like Mark McGwire. I don't think Mark McGwire is going to get in, and I think he's already accepted it. Because look, he's still in baseball. He's a coach. I think he's a hitting coach or something with the Cardinals.
For the Padres.
So yeah, he's still in baseball. I think he's good. I think he's accepted it already. You know what I mean? Possibly, but if he gets in, he gets in. But yeah, man, Hall of Fame stuff. Good talk, good conversation. A lot of people chiming in. I greatly appreciate you guys. Jose V, Rob G. You're tuning to Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Quan doing his thing behind the big board. What happened to the music, Quan? Damn, died out on me. It's all good, though. I'm just kidding. But anyways, UNLV basketball finally got to 500 on Monday. I went to the game. Oh, yeah, the game's we do have up game 2 against Utah State here up in the studio watching it as well. Eerie feeling, bro. It was weird being there. First media event for me in 2021. Glass separation. I had Brian Salmon next to me, NBC News 3. I had Brian Shapiro next to me on my other side, and then C-Win was with me as well. It was so weird because you got to lean back, take your mask off to say something. Hey, wait, hey. Like, it was so hard to talk or even have a conversation. I get it. You're in the press box. You're not supposed to be making too much noise, but everybody conversates and talks, whether it's about the game or whatever else it may be. Not only that, the fake crowd noise that was pumped into the arena. I'm sorry. I would rather hear 1,500 UNLV fans that normally make it out on any given night live than the fake crowd noise.
Right.
That fake crowd noise was horrible. And John Sadler, I'm sorry. For you to say that UNLV had an amazing, great defensive showing in the second half of Monday night's game, no. Utah State couldn't make a shot to save their life. They were bricking. I'm talking about open three-pointers, open layups, losing the ball, turnover after turnover. UNLV got lucky. You had a guy in Nick Blake that freaking missed a wide open dunk that would have gave the Rebels a 10-point lead or 8-point lead, I believe it was. And then 2 plays later, on a fast break, palms the ball for a travel. Like, I get it. You're a freshman. You make mistakes. But
is he the one that did the behind the back?
Yes, he's the one that was a clean move. Nice move. They're talking about Sports Center, top 10, whatever.
I text you. I was like,
it was a clean move.
Oh, it's top 10, huh?
Yeah. But,
what number?
I don't know. But now they're getting smashed.
Number 8.
They're getting smashed now. Now, first half of that game was awesome. Second half of the game was horrible. Great block by Wood. He got his first start of the season yesterday on Monday as well. Great block at the end of the game. Who knows if that 3 goes in, tie game, we go to overtime. So it was just one of those games, man, where it was nasty. It was sloppy. Within the first 10 minutes, I believe, both teams only had 9 points each. It was bad.
Sloppy.
It was horrible to watch. I'm sorry. UNLV has a lot of work to do. It's
going back to the media thing that you were talking about. I'm a little surprised that they had like the glass up and stuff. If that's what you're saying, they had like when I had gone to the UNLV game, right? Like
The football game?
Yeah, at Allegiant, it wasn't anything. I mean, we had our mask on, of course, but there wasn't any, plexiglass or glass in between.
It was a
You
regular press box.
Yeah, you could move about, not to say that they, wanted you to, but I mean, not to say that we did either, but you can move about, you can, go to the rest, do all your stuff that you needed to do. But that's weird that, just to, like you were saying, like if that was the setup, you're telling me that for the first time, that's kind of crazy to be at a UNLV basketball game.
Yeah.
You figure Allegiant Stadium would be even more, not say on top of it, but a little bit more stricter. But yeah, if that's the way they had it, that's the way they had it. That's the way it's going to be moving forward.
It was crazy, man. Nobody in the concessions area, nobody in the concourse, completely dead during the game. I went up there. It's an eerie feeling. It feels like you're at a practice. It doesn't feel like it's real. You know what I mean? It feels like they're not even there. Like, I get it. UNLV fans don't show up. They don't show out. So it doesn't get that loud there anyways unless they're playing a high-ranked opponent.
Right.
But I would rather have a couple hundred people, you know what I mean? And hear that and see that and hear real claps. Like, all you hear are the players clapping for each other, the coaches. And I'm talking about they're getting loud. I don't remember ever going to a basketball game where I can hear the coach calling out plays clearly. Normally you can hear a coach yelling it, you know what I mean? But you don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, you can hear it. And that's the thing. Like you talk about like advantage-wise, right? Like you literally have to, game plan for that. I know they do it during football where they have the signs up and they got like little signs and little characters in different places and stuff like that. But for basketball, I almost feel like they started doing it as well because the other team can hear you. It's so
you got to come up with new schemes.
Yeah,
new ideas.
you got to adapt to that, which is kind of crazy to me. I haven't been to obviously a UNLV game yet, which I hopefully will. But that's a little different, to think about it, but it's going to be like that for the foreseeable future. And you can make the argument to allow some people in, right? Because I mean, once we watch the football games, which we'll get into in a little bit, but the games, you looked at the Chiefs Stadium, man, it was pretty decent, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the Packers was pretty decent, like.
But then the Packers too, the way their stadium is built, it kind of gave it a better,
make it
100%. Seem like there's a lot of people there.
100%. So it's a little weird to me, to all of us, obviously. But yeah, I mean, just to see that many people at the NFC and the AFC Championship game is kind of crazy. But
yeah, man, going back to UNLV, Bryce Hamilton, Pasadena product, California kid.
Is he from Pasadena?
Yeah, he's from Pasadena kid. Mountain West Player of the Year last year, by the way. Yeah, Mountain West Player of the Year.
Wow.
Having a rough game tonight. 1 of 9, 0 of 3 from the three-point line, 2 points. But he balled out the game before. Monday night, balled out. Not looking the same tonight. UNLV's down 62-53 right now with 8:53 to go in the second half at Thomas and Mack. Hopefully we'll get out there and watch another game here soon, Rob, so you can check it out as well. But I don't see the Rebels doing anything, man. 6-6 on the year. The whole pandemic thing, the fact that they got stopped. Marvin Coleman is now out, the kid we had on the show a few months back.
I was going to ask how he did last night. So he's out, huh?
Yeah,
when did he get hurt?
I'm not sure. About a month. I think it was a couple weeks ago.
Been a while.
No, it's been a couple weeks. Yeah, it's a couple weeks that he's been out. But it's just one of those things, man, where UNLV is just not looking right. They just can't hire the right people. I think they got 7 or 8 freshmen on this team right now. So
there's
see,
a couple.
man.
There's Boise's really. I mean, I know they got smoked today. I think they got smoked by Colorado State, or maybe they came back and won. I don't know, but I was looking at the end game. But there's some pretty good teams. I like Boise. Colorado State is a sneaky good, and then obviously you have Utah State who's playing right now. So
yeah, Boise State got rocked, 78-56.
Yeah, they got rocked today
by Colorado
State. I thought. I didn't see how the game finished, but there's some good teams though. I think Colorado State sneaky good, and then like Utah State, like we're watching right now, I think they're really good too. So it's definitely not the. I mean. If you're gonna be bad, I guess in a year it would be this year, right? Because you have every excuse in the book, right? To like, so many avenues to make an excuse for. So if you're gonna be bad, this is the year to be bad. So,
and this is the biggest excuse here for you to use it for. So
exactly. So why not?
Now I told you on the way here that I've been betting hockey. It's and you know what? And I'm gonna go ahead and clarify things right now because people like to joke and make fun. Yes, I am the casual bettor on this show.
He is.
Let's get that 100% cleared up. I am the casual bettor. I'm the guy that's going to make the $5, $10 bets. I'm the guy that's going to make the $2 10 team parlay, whether you want to make fun of me or not. I've hit them. I've made money. So, hey, everybody has their system. Everybody has their play, and everybody makes their money their own way. On this show, Rob's the sharp. And what I mean by that, he bets the bigger money. He does the straight bets. He's not afraid. He's got what he wants, and he knows how to bet it. Like I said, everybody has their system. Straight Bet Sports. We do what we do. But with that being said, I've been doing pretty good on in-game with NHL. Dwayne was pretty excited about hockey when he was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he talked to us about that, how he likes to bet it as well. He likes to watch. He's a big, I think, Canadians fan. I like betting the periods. For those of you that, if you do bet hockey and you're listening, you like to bet the periods. The reason I like to bet the periods is because you get better odds. Like earlier tonight, I had, I believe it was, yesterday, I had a team that, to win the game, they were plus 115, right? But to win the period, they were plus 175, which to me made no sense. The game was tied 1-1, right? So at this point, I'm sitting there going, how do I not take the plus 175?
No, you're talking to win the period as in like...
Correct. It's the third period. They're tied 1-1. So meaning who's going to win the period and who's going to win the game. So it's the same thing. You see the bet?
Correct. Yeah.
Now,
in
the difference
period,
between the other
correct.
bet, it's 90 minutes and stop, and it's the full 90-minute period only. So if they go past 90 minutes, you lose that bet.
What bet?
The plus 115 to win outright instead of betting the period. Do you see what I'm saying?
Got you. Okay.
So if you bet the period, you're getting better odds. Why take the 115? Why?
It's hard to believe. Well, yeah, I've got to take a look at that because that just doesn't sound right to me where they would allow you to bet a third period when the game is tied,
bro,
versus betting the game to win.
Here, let me see if I can pull up some tickets. If I could pull up some tickets so I can look at them.
I think that they would offer that if the game wasn't tied, right? Because if a game's like 3-1 or 2-1 or whatever, then maybe whoever scores more goals that period. But when the game is tied, that's an interesting bet. I mean, if the game, yeah, that's interesting. But anyways, but no, the reason they offer that though is because they offer the tie as well, which is if you tie, then if they tie, then you lose.
Correct, but that's what I'm saying. You could take the tie if you want, but if you're trying to take the win,
that makes sense.
Take the third period.
Right.
Why even take the game at that point?
That makes 100% sense.
That's what I'm saying.
But you also get overtime.
Correct. I get that.
It's just like, so you're okay. So nothing you're saying is surprising to me because that's how soccer works too.
No, I know. But look, the one thing that I've been looking at too is depending on who's playing. So let's say, for example, a road team, they're down 2-1 going into the second period. That's when I start watching these games. I look at what they've done before. I look at the previous games when they did score. What period did they score in? And that's how I start choosing these games. I don't just start choosing them by looking at them and I'm like, oh, this one looks good, I'm gonna put $2 on it. Like, no, like I'm actually like, if I'm looking at this game and it's 15 minutes left in the second period and the home team is down by 1 goal, I'm definitely going back to their last 3 or 4 games within those 5-minute period, and I'm just checking and I'm looking to see, okay, they score more in the second. Oh wait, they score more in the third. I'm looking to see where these teams do their damage. Like I said, I don't bet these games beforehand. I bet them in game because you get better odds. You get better opportunities to see what's going on in the game. And
I don't know how much you can make long term on that, but
I know.
I just like, come on. That is like, that's a whole show right there. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Now, before we move away from hockey, though, I got to give you guys a quick story. I was here on Saturday. Quan put up the game for me. All I needed was the Winnipeg Jets to come back and win the game, right? I needed the over, which was 6.5. That came through. But I needed them to win by 2 to give me a 4-teamer that was all puck line. All puck line, right? Craziest story, though, is that St. Louis was playing the Kings. St. Louis is up 3-2 in the third period. 1 minute to go. I'm like, this is it. I'm not going to hit it. Like, I need to go for it.
That's open net.
And it's 5.5.
Screaming open net.
And it's 5.5 total, right? So I need a goal for the over, and I need a goal to have my ticket alive. They scored an empty netter with 2 seconds to go.
Can I just bring Quan onto the show for man? He was there earlier, but he was on for the first couple seconds. Can you just explain how excited? How did he?
No,
You were.
Yeah,
there was more though.
No. But was he just running around
where
here?
He got really excited, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one that I was watching here. That was the final one.
He was just jumping all over, jumping on your couches.
I hit 3 tickets that day. I hit a 4-teamer that was all puck line, $2 to pay 92.
Yeah, but they're introducing fighters. The fighter's just walking and he's screaming.
right.
And everybody else in the room is watching the fight.
Right.
So they're looking at him like, who's the crazy guy who brought all the Modelo's?
2 for 92. Right.
And then not
this
only
dude drove here on a 12-pack of Modelo's already.
Right. I love the way Jose, because I've been around him so many. We hung out so many times that when he hits a ticket, it's literally like he hit the lottery. Like it's like
bang.
It could be literally the total payout could be like $14, and he's just like on cloud nine, and I love it. I love it.
But look, that day.
And you're drinking.
Check this
I
out.
get you're here.
That Saturday, I started, like I told you, I started with $10 in my account. When I got here, Winnipeg was losing. The Jets were down 2-1. I bet them in game. I put my last $20 that I had on them, right? Because I had one little stuff in between the day. I put my last $20 that I had on them, or was it 40? I think it was 20 or 40.
It's all he had in his bank account.
Exactly.
Right.
So think about it. I hit 3 tickets. They came back to win the game to give me my over and also give me the puck line and give me the extra ticket that I bet on them in game. So I won over $200 that day. So it wasn't
I don't get excited over it. I'm sorry.
Again, I'm the casual bettor.
I don't.
I have my systems.
My thought process is always like, why didn't you put 20,
More
30,
money.
40, $50 on that if you not say you felt confident. Obviously with any type of parlay, whether it be a 2-teamer, in my opinion, a 2-teamer is a lottery ticket. I mean, I hate to say that. I am straight bet all till the day I die. I don't parlay anything. I mean, I do my little parlay cards on Sunday mornings, $5 to win 8 racks, but I don't parlay anything in my life. I don't parlay anything. So I'm always like, why didn't you put more, especially with $2, $4, $6?
The parlays, I do them because obviously it's a little bit of money to win big and you're betting less. But I do straight bets. You know that. I don't bet big like you, but I'll do, a good amount on a straight bet if I really like something. I have put, a good amount on the game a few years ago. I remember betting the Ohio State Northwestern game. That was the first time I put 220. Okay, not that much, but that was the biggest bet I made at that time. And it was like, it was the scariest thing in the world because I'm waiting, hoping that these damn games going to go over. And I'll never forget that game because at halftime, all I needed was like 13 points for it to go over. And it didn't go over until the final minute of the game. So, it's fun, man. That's why it's betting. Everybody has their way. Everybody bets the way they want. You know what I mean? Some people bet bigger. Some people don't. It is what it is. But anyway,
I don't know what the listeners can take from that, though. From that whole segment right there. From both of us, though, right? Like, I don't know.
We're just talking about casual betting and how we bet.
I do call Jose or text Jose all the time and be like, what do you like? Because I definitely want to know what
the
public.
Opposite.
In my eyes, Jose is the public. So I text him like, what do you like? Because chances are everyone else likes the same side. So, sorry to tell you that, Jose, but that is the truth.
But I did win our contest the first year anyways. But
yeah.
we're not
3 years ago. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, but you won 2 years ago.
How about we haven't even talked about why we stopped putting in picks every week. We stopped.
The NFL season was over.
We can still put in a pick a week though.
But we haven't figured out a new system of what we're gonna do.
If I was 3-11 too, I'd maybe be like, let's forget about it too. 4-11.
You gotta put me on like that. Okay.
You just forgot about it, right? Okay. You left the listeners hanging. I was 50. I was 50%.
All right, since we're talking about it, then what do you want to start doing moving forward? Starting next week. Starting next week. What do you want to start doing?
We can put it. I mean, it's tough without NFL, though. I do agree with you because you're able to see the lines way in advance versus college basketball, everything else. It's kind of like a day by day thing. But I mean, we can put in maybe a play for the next couple day or two. I know the lines come out about a day or two early sometimes, so I mean, we can put a play in if you want to put a play in. But I do get that NFL was the easier to track in because it was a few days before, and then we had Thursday night football the next day and stuff like that. So
how about this? I'll make it easier for you. How about we both every Wednesday we go on our sites, whatever it is we use Vegas Insider, I use Scores and Odds, I go to the Cannery,
whatever.
Quan's getting mad because I'm moving, so he's fixing my camera. But Wednesday, you go on Twitter or whoever goes first, me or you, once you have your pick and you tag me in it, and then I'll do the same. Like that, by the time we get to the show and we do the show at 9 o'clock, our game should be done by then, depending on what we chose. And then we could talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
That's a little better because then we have something to talk about. We're not just giving our pick, but talking about what happened.
Okay.
Cool? But we got to come up with an actual prize. or how long this is going to be, or is it who gets to 20 wins first, or something. We got to do something.
I like first to 20.
Okay.
Right. I like first to 20. And we can throw an even 100 on it. I'm okay with that. Just to kind of keep the numbers even.
Quan, you want to jump in on this? I know you're not a gambling man.
No, he'll keep track. He'll keep track of it.
I don't want to beat you guys on your own show.
I love it. Love it.
So we can do 100 first to 20.
Okay.
And I feel like we should open it up to maybe Tuesday and Wednesday, right? In case you'd like a game on Tuesday, you can bet Tuesday.
I'm good with that because then we can still talk about it on Wednesday.
Right. So Tuesday or Wednesday must have a play. If there is no games between them, we'll have the same rules as our contest, which are super simple, right? That we still have going this year. We'll have minus 130 is the max you can go, right? Minus 130 is the max favorite you can go Tuesday or Wednesday. If there's no games Tuesday or Wednesday, then we'll extend it to Monday. If there's no games Monday, we'll extend it to Sunday. But if there's games Tuesday or Wednesday, we can just go Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
And then max 130. Max 130 is the max money line that you can go.
Max money line.
Max money line. If there's points involved, though, you must take the points. So max money line would be NHL or baseball.
NHL or baseball
or soccer. You can go soccer. I'll even let you go soccer. We'll let each other go soccer.
Okay, so how about this?
No in-game.
We have 10 minutes, right?
No in-game.
No in-game. We have 10 minutes. How about this? Let's get the people that listen, because I know there's some people that listen that bet that want to talk, that get into it with us as well on Facebook and all that. You want to get the listeners involved? You want to make it interesting?
I mean, if they want to call in, we can go.
Okay, so in the next 9 minutes, but you got to agree with this. So here's the price. Here's what I'm going to say before I say who calls in. We're going to let someone call. If someone calls in within the next 9 minutes and becomes part of this, that listener has to call us every week and give us his pick as well. If that listener gets to 20 wins before us, we have to give that listener a $50 gift card. 25 and 25.
Yeah.
You down with that?
Yeah.
Just to make it more exciting, more interesting.
The one listener, or you want, or
well, no, because I guess. So within the next 9 minutes, if you want to call in 702-608-3259, if you want to jump in our handicapping contest, which will start next week, you must have a Twitter account. That is the main basis of this, because Rob does not use anything else. So you must have a Twitter account. I know, I agree with Quan. He should be using Facebook, but he does not. If you call in 702-608-3259, give us your picks starting next week. If you get to 20 wins before us, that means you got to follow us for the next 20 episodes. Long way to go, but it's going to be fun. If you beat us and get to 20 wins before us, you get a $50 gift card.
Yeah.
Now, I think we should make it 2 picks a week, though.
That's too much.
Because if we do 1 pick a week, it's going to get harder and longer to get to 20.
That's fine. I like, that's true. That is true. That is 100% true.
Now, if nobody calls in, it's just me and you straight up, simple and plain.
So let's do the first to 10. How about that?
That's okay. Let's do
first to 10, just so we can start it over, be fresh, maybe get a new caller in. Okay. We'll do first to 10, or for whoever wants to join us, right? First to 10,
and we'll do. If we're gonna make it shorter, we're gonna make it. So let's do 50 for us.
Okay.
25 for the listeners. Meaning, if the listener beats us first, we go halves on the gift card. Or you want to go 50 both ways and make it even?
We can do 50 for the listener too,
and 50 for us.
So 50 for us.
Okay. So if the listener beats us, we don't have to pay each other. We're out. And
correct.
It's 25
and then we start exact. So they get our 50.
Cool.
And then if they don't, then either one of us gets our 50. Okay.
702-608-3259. Give us a call here on Straight Bet Sports on Gorilla Cross Radio. If you're tuned in and you want to be a part of our mini handicapping contest.
So each of us has to tag each other on Twitter, though.
Exactly.
Before the show.
Correct. And if you have Twitter and you're going to join this, you have to tag us with your picks as well. And also give us a call if you win or lose, just to be part of the segment. Want to try something different.
Yeah,
you know, I'm with it. Get more people involved. Get more people tuned in.
Let's see if someone calls, though. All 5 of our listeners. Or
all 3 of our listeners.
All 3.
Yeah, got to get that clear.
Sorry. Yeah.
But
anyways, let's jump.
We got about 5 more minutes. We're not going to talk too much about NFL because next week is basically going to be our NFL Super Bowl preview show. We're going to break down the prop bets, the betting lines, the action, where the money's going, what the bettors are betting. Hopefully, we're gonna have Dwayne Colucci back in here, our good friend from Rampart Racing Sportsbook. So, Rob, the line opened at 3, plus 200 on the money line for the Bucks. I like that. I really do. It's still early. Obviously, we still have a whole another week to talk about it. What are your thoughts on the opening line? Something you expect it to be that way, or did you expect it to be a little bit higher, lower?
I saw early line was if they had the if these two teams played, right, Chiefs Packers, Chiefs, Bills, Packers,
all the
whatever
different scenarios.
Yeah, all different scenarios. I saw Chiefs minus 5.5 as the opening line if they played the Bucks, and now all of a sudden it's 3/3.5. William Hill has minus 120. I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs, but honestly, I kind of lean towards the under. And it opened at 57. I know it's like 56.5, right? First of all, Super Bowl's a big overplay, anyways. No matter what what part of the country you live in, right?
People expect a lot of points,
right? I just think that Tom Brady, in the age that he's in now, I don't see any way that you have the mentality that you're going to try to gunsling with this cat, right? Patrick Mahomes, the way that they were down 9-0 against the Bills, for them to come back and do what they did, I don't see any way how with the running game that Tampa Bay has, I don't see any way how Tom Brady wants to go into a shooting, a shooting match, back and forth with Patrick Mahomes. So I do lean towards the under. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. We did say that. I forgot last week which game. You said that as well. I think it was the Packers game.
I like the under in the Packers
game,
Bucks game.
Right, it went over. But I mean, in this situation, the way that Kansas City is able to move the ball and as quickly as they're able to move the ball, whenever and however they want to move the ball, I think that they have to lean heavy on the run. And I just don't think that Tom Brady can keep up scoring wise. I know they scored a decent amount on the Packers, but Chiefs defense has been playing okay lately. They against the Bills, they kind of stepped up when they needed to. Not at the beginning of the game, but as the game progressed. And I lean towards the under, 56.5, maybe 57. We'll see where it's at though. Especially if you like the under, I do hope you wait at least until the end, because there's a lot of money that has to come in on game. Most of the money comes in on game day. Right, like true. Most of the money, but
everybody's here for the weekend visiting.
Yeah, right, but the sharpest of sharp monies is already in the books, right?
It's already there.
It's already there. So for them to drop from 57,
everything else is just line movement at this point.
Exactly. There are some sprinkles in between here and there, but when that original sharps want that line when it first drops. They don't want the public or anybody to be able to touch it. If they like it, and they're going to take it, and they don't care. Even if they missed out on a good number, say it goes up to 57.5, but they grab 57, or it goes up to 58. If they're comfortable at 57 or whatever number it is, they're gonna drop it. And they don't even, 90% of the sharps that bet these big time money games don't even watch the game. To be honest with you, they don't even watch it. They just kind of just see what happens. They wake up the next day, see what happened. If they cash, they cash.
Open up
on
the
to
app
the next.
and see what it is.
Right, on to the next. Right. So
now another crazy thing too, because you and I like to talk about conspiracy theories and you got to look at this scenario and what happened and this and that. Think about Tom Brady when he won his first Super Bowl. It was right after 9/11, right? Patriots.
Okay.
Patriots. You know what I mean? Red, white, and blue. They win it. Helps the city. Drew Brees after Katrina.
Right.
Wins the Super Bowl. Heals the city. Right.
What's this one?
COVID. Tom Brady's in Tampa. No team has ever hosted and won a Super Bowl at home, but yet it's Tom Brady has the opportunity to possibly do it. I get it. Everybody's saying Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to go back to back. Patrick Mahomes, his time is now, but just not this upcoming Sunday for Super Bowl. I think Tom
Next
Brady.
Sunday.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady and the Bucks will win. That defense is legit.
That's tough.
Their offense, once they get going, they're hard to stop. And right now, situationally, with everything going on, how everything is set up and how everything has aligned, it has to be Brady. It has to be. Patrick Mahomes is going to win 2 or 3, maybe even 4 more Super Bowls in his career. I honestly believe that. I can see that happening. But Tom Brady is already at the end of his career. That's why it's perfect for him to get this one. You know what I mean? That's not going off of betting or numbers or odds or who's putting money. That's just going off of what I see and what's going on in general with the situation. You know
I don't see how anyone can stop Patrick Mahomes in that offense. Like, we have to remember it's not Belichick anymore, right?
I know it was a long time ago, but the Raiders did.
I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, it's been done. It's been done. And not only that, they've been slowed down. They haven't looked great in every game. Let's be real.
No, they haven't, especially towards the end of the season.
But they've never been stopped. I get that. Yeah, even though the Raiders beat them, I don't think the Raiders stopped them. You know what I mean?
And the biggest thing, too, is, like I mentioned when we talked about who you like in the Bills game and the Chiefs game, especially with Patrick Mahomes being up in the air, I like Andy Reid. I like Andy Reid over Bruce Arians all day long.
Risk it to get the biscuit.
All day long. I like Andy Reid. I think that he is, you know, it took him so long to get to this plateau. You know, I mean, I know he's been there plenty of times, but he's there, and I don't think that he's gonna lose this. And I like Andy Reid more than I like Bruce Arians, and I like Andy Reid versus Bruce Arians versus the matchup of Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes.
See, I'm not a big Tom Brady fan. I know we got to get going here, but ever since he left the AFC East, you know, it's only been a year. I'm okay with that. That's like when LeBron left Miami and came back to Cleveland. I kind of liked him a lot more for that.
Right.
And I know a lot of people already saw the video that's been posted all over social media of him hugging his son and saying, "Hey, buddy, I love you," this and then he brought him over. Like, I'm a dad. That made me feel like I saw that, and it's like, he's a normal guy at the end of the day, whether you want to hate this guy or whatever it is. He's a normal guy. He's a father. He's a husband. You know what I mean? He's trying to show his kids, hey, dad can do it. We're going back to the Super Bowl. That's awesome, bro. This guy's been in the league 20 years. He's going to his 10th Super Bowl. That's like LeBron. LeBron's been in the NBA Finals half of his career. But yeah, man, we got to get going here. Great show tonight. Fun times. No guests, just me and Rob G chopping it up tonight. Rob, any final words before we get going?
No, man. It's glad to be back in the studio. Appreciate it. Appreciate, you know, you guys, you know, accommodating me on Skype. And
your whack-ass laptop?
Yeah, no, for real. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited for the Super Bowl coming up. I like the Chiefs. But, you know, if I were to put money, I like the under. So we'll see where it's at next week, though. We'll see where it's at because I may have a different story.
I like how every week you ask Robbie if he has the last word, and his first word is no, and then gives like a speech.
It's not every week. I think the last 2 weeks he's done it. And I always say
like,
no?
No, but yeah, it was a good day. It was a good show. Yeah, man. But Quan, appreciate you too, man. As always, every single Wednesday night.
Thanks for the tacos. Taco Wednesday.
That's what it's becoming, right? I think it's becoming Taco Wednesday here on Gorilla Cross.
Yeah.
We might have to, you know, trademark that. Tacos Mexico, can we get a sponsorship? We eat tacos here every Wednesday.
Hey, that'd be good.
There you go.
We'll talk about that soon, though. But for Rob G, Jose V, Quan59, this was another episode of Straight Bet Sports here on Gorilla Cross Radio. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with this. Big Chad Wheeler, decides to put his hands on his wife. After we just talked about domestic violence last week, it seems that people just don't get it, especially athletes. You're in a position of power. You're in a position of fame. You finally made it. Why put your hands on a female? I don't care what the excuse is or what the excuse was or what happened. Come on, man. We have to be better as a community, as a society, as a world. Men in general, I'm not saying everyone because I'm not judging all men, but come on, man. If we ever have that thought or that feeling, let's not go that route. Turn around and go the other way. Till then, I am Jose V for Rob G, Quan59, Straight Bet Sports, Gorilla Cross Radio. Peace.
See ya.